Well, thank you very much. I'm honored to be here today. This is my first time at the LSI conference, and what an amazing event. And I'm even more excited to present to a live audience versus a computer. So Bluegrass Vascular Technologies is a commercial stage medical device company. We're located in San Antonio, Texas. We are focused on innovating life-saving access procedures for chronically occluded central veins. In 2019, we were recognized as a top 10 nephrology provider, largely for the lifelines that we have been able to place in dialysis patients. Last year, we were recognized as a showcase company for the Global MedTech Innovator Program. So the company was started in Kentucky. That's why we're called Bluegrass. The product was invented by an interventional cardiologist, Dr. John Gurley. I joined the company in 2014, just after the first-in-human studies have been completed. But as you can see in our timeline, we've been able to hit some key milestones over the last few years. Specifically, our FDA approval via de novo in 2020, followed a year and a half later by getting a CMS code. And we just closed on a $5 million convertible note, which adds up to about $22 million that we've raised to date. So what are we trying to solve? Well, placement of central venous catheters is the #1 hospital procedure. There are about 6 million catheters placed each year. The problem is with these long-term catheters reside in the body, they cause the veins to react, creating thrombosis, and when that is left untreated, it results in chronically occluded veins, or the obstructions that happen. And you can see the symptoms associated with central venous disease are quite impactful for the patients: swelling, edema, migraines, cerebral back pressure, very low quality of life. And this is important because we only have 4 central veins in our body. Central venous catheters are typically placed on the right internal jugular, but when that vein gets occluded, physicians will simply go to the left. And so they end up burning up all of the central venous real estate that's important for providing this access. And so what we're trying to address is having a tool that can get access at that right internal jugular obstruction and preserving all of the other real estate for future clinical use. What is our market opportunity? Well, if you take the 1.3 million patients on a long-term catheter, 52% will have a thrombosis, and what really we are looking at and targeting are the symptomatic venous occlusions. That's about 213,000 patients a year. But the most critical patients are those that all central veins have been obliterated, and they're possibly on a femoral catheter. That's another 27,000 patients a year that really need our product to give them a lifeline. So that top tip of the iceberg is our initial target market. So based on the ASPs that we have in Europe, of $3,900 in Europe and $5,595 in the US, our initial target market is about $750 million, with a total addressable market opportunity of $3.4 billion. The Surfacer Inside Out Access System, which is featured here, is our flagship product. You can see in the kit that we provide, it has all of the components necessary to conduct the procedure. It's a single sterile use product with a 90% gross margin. The specialties that would use this product and have been using it are the interventional radiologists, vascular surgeons, and interventional nephrologists. And as I mentioned, applications are largely dialysis, but we also are able to treat patients that depend on chemo or nutrition or pacing for their central access. So our product is based on a simple approach of inserting a guide wire through the femoral vein. Over that guide wire, we insert our components. We progress through the central vasculature to just above the clavicle. Our unique and patented technology then takes alignment with a target on the skin to advance a needle guide, and it's through that needle guide that we advance a sharp needle wire, and once that exits the body, it is through that needle wire that we're able to insert a catheter or other access device. So it's designed to be safe in that no sharp component is ever advanced until we're directing it away from the heart and the lung. I mentioned earlier we've already hit our key regulatory and reimbursement milestones. CE mark was achieved in 2016. We've got Canadian approval. We're able to get our de novo clearance in February 2020. And then last fall, we're able to get a new reimbursement code for our inside-out procedure. We are protected by a number of patents and trademarks. And so we launched the product in Europe after we received our European approval, and so that has really served as the test ground because we've always known that US is the largest market. But as you can see on this heat map, we've had almost every country in Europe use the product. We have about 80 commercial accounts, the highest being in Germany. High success rate, and the procedure is done in 20 minutes, which saves significant time from what other physicians might try to attempt to get access in these patients. In the United States, we have 120 physicians that have already been trained. This is since our approval 2 years ago. And we are seeing now with the positive CMS decision last fall, a significant uptick in interest, largely from interventional radiologists, which are very comfortable with this procedure. So physicians like Dr. Sorial in San Jose, California, who deal with complex vascular access on a daily basis, are establishing themselves as centers of excellence for our product. In 2021, our sales in US and Europe were about 600,000, but I wanted to show here for you the uptick that we've had quarter over quarter. In US, certainly driven by the positive CMS decision, and based on this adoption rate, we are forecasting sales of 70 million, revenue of 70 million year 5, largely by the US portion of our revenue. It's really important with novel products like ours that there is data and evidence, and we now have collected data in over 200 cases, which has resulted in 12 peer-reviewed publications. What's important here is that this is evidence not only in our own hands, but also evidence from independent multi-center studies. And what they have echoed in our hands is that there have been no device-related adverse events. The product performs very safely and effectively, so demonstrating the robust performance of the product. I'm very honored to have an amazing team that I work with deep experience in the different specialties. I am a biomedical engineer. I joined the company 7.5 years ago. I focus on taking innovative products and bringing them to market. The previous companies I've been involved with have all been acquired by public companies, and so we're very excited about the opportunity that we have for our company. So in summary, with all of the key regulatory approvals and reimbursement in hand, we've significantly de-risked this technology. We are near cash flow positive with only having spent about $20 million. And we're really well poised to take this exciting product where there is no competition, there's no other product like ours, and penetrate the US and European market with our goal of hitting $7 million in revenue in year 5. So thank you for your attention. I'll be glad to answer any questions in the breakout session.